This is Poland Daily Culture. My name is Maria Kądzielska and we are the best English-speaking show about culture. And with us in the studio is Klaudia Kwaśny, a unique artist because you are a singer, vocalist, and you also speak wonderful English, which is
thank you.
not that common, especially in Poland. So talking about this, could you tell us about your project called Saved by Poetry? What is it about and who are you saving?
Well, it's a wonderful project. It's dear to my heart. It happened that we kind of came across the poetry by Jerzy Kozarzewski. By complete coincidence, we were on a pilgrimage and met his granddaughter, Ola. And obviously when we met, we kind of had a chat on Facebook, and when I was scrolling, and I just kind of, the information popped to my eyes that her granddad was being imprisoned in the communism area. So I said to Martin, who really loves that subject, I said, look, I think maybe you should read some of his poetry, maybe it's good. And we met up and she said, well, I really wanted to tell you, but I couldn't bring myself to it, and it would be wonderful if we would meet with my dad, who was a son of Jerzy Kozarzewski. And we met up, we were granted this huge pile of poetry from his son, and Martin read it all, and he said, look, we need to do something with it. It's the best poetry I've ever read.
Right.
And he chose out of this huge plic of poetry, he chose 12, I think, or 13 pieces. And he said, look, we need to create something musical, because I think he had a musical ear, and this poetry is very musical, it's very rhythmical, and it has a ring to it. So we did. Patryk Górecki created the music, and we perform this three on stage, me, Martin and Patryk, playing on a guitar. It's very intimate, it's short, maybe 45 minutes, but it's intimate, very brings loads of emotions within those 45 minutes. I think the main message is lots of love between the couple. And we're playing Jerzy Kozarzewski and his wife Magdalena. And the story of the love is also very unique, because he was imprisoned. Actually, he was sentenced to death, but she went to Tuwim.
It was during the World War II, yes?
Well, it was after. It was during the communistic times. And because he was fighting in the Second World War, they put him in prison, like many żołnierze wyklęci.
Yes.
I don't know what's the translation for it.
Damned soldiers,
exactly.
Basically.
So he was one of them, really. And he was sentenced to death, or to do the entire life. And his wife went to Tuwim, showed the poetry to him, and Tuwim went to Bierut and said, look, if you're going to kill him, it's going to be a huge loss to the Polish arts. And it was a precedent that he changed that sentence into 10 years, or I think, yeah, he then left.
So his poetry actually saved him?
Yes, absolutely. That's why Saved by Poetry.
And that's a beautiful thing. I thought you actually saving him for the poetry by performing it, which is also sort of making him even more, immortalizing him.
Yeah.
But, well, a beautiful story. So Tuwim, who of course was a very popular Polish poet and a communist, unfortunately, but made this sacrifice, had enough courage at least to save a man.
Absolutely.
So Jerzy Kozarzewski was saved by his poetry.
Absolutely, yes. And his wife, who really loved him, must have loved him so much, because she waited for him. She didn't know whether he will be released or not, but she waited. Also before that, he was taken to Mauthausen, and she didn't know where he was, and she'd written over 100 letters looking for him. And then the answer came from Mauthausen that he's there, and she had that hope. She was herself in the queue to get to some camp. She was 9 months pregnant, and somebody, I think German soldier, just put her out of that queue. And I love stories like that, because they give a little bit of hope and loving that actually in those horrible times there were people who were human, or at least they were trying or were doing a little things to just bring that humanity.
Yeah, well, I also almost have tears in my eyes when someone actually did have the courage to stand up to the system.
Yes.
And, well, being a German soldier, you end up there sometimes and doing something good for a person. And that's why well, there was a son and there was a granddaughter.
Yes, absolutely.
So actually, the granddaughter, also Ola Kozarzewska, was our
Yes,
guest
she
here
was.
making jewelry. So it is, of course, another invitation for you, the viewers of Poland Daily. First of all, watch our episodes with Ola Kozarzewska. And the other thing is definitely watch and listen to the performance Saved by Poetry, which with a piece of it we are leaving you right now.
Surowością